And social commentator Michael Adeleye joins me to discuss the possible review of the budget. Good to have you join us this hour, Michael Adeleye. Now, we're seeking, the presidency will be seeking a budget review, midterm budget review, in the light of the coronavirus outbreak in the country. What do you make of that?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Obviously, what we're having now in regards of the virus is a global phenomenon. And obviously, it's affecting every part of the economy, not just in Nigeria, but globally. So here, if the president is actually putting in action with his team, with his great team, to actually look into the budget, which has been signed off in the past, but now obviously no one expected this to happen. So the best thing to do is to actually look into it, because economically, our trading partners all over the world, especially the Chinese or the China, is actually one of our major partners. So if that disease or the virus is actually affecting deeply, it's like the word, as people say, is when somebody sneezes, everybody catches the cold. So when China is having this issue now, and obviously Nigeria is one of their major partners, so obviously we're having a crunch on our economy as well. So the best thing to do for the president to actually look backwards or inwards into the economy and say, okay, right, what we need to do now is our oil is falling, the prices are falling, our importation and exportation have been affected negatively, so they have to look into the budget and see what sort of amendment they could actually make to actually be suitable for. But
what is the possibility of this, bearing in mind two issues? First of all, like you said, the prices of oil it's falling, and then it's also the global pandemic. Is also the global economic issues because of global pandemic, as well as the fact that the National Assembly is saying they're taking 2 weeks recess because of the coronavirus outbreak as well. So how possible is this in the shortest term?
It's a 50-50 case if you have to look at it. We might argue, or a lot of people might argue and say, this is the time the National Assembly are meant to sit down to work hand in hand with the executive to see how the budget will actually be amended and see how to cushion this effect. But again, what's going to happen if they decide to sit down in the parliament and the virus actually affected them? Then the whole thing breaks down. So what I will advise them to do is they could still be working remotely. They don't have to congregate in the National Assembly all the time. They could work remotely, still do what the technology can do all this. They could still communicate with the presidency or with the executives while working remotely, while they're taking the time off so that they don't congregate at the same place. So, I mean, for me, I think it's a 50-50 case. Yeah.
Allow me butt in. Yeah. Now, if we're able to get this through, if this is approved, what areas do you think that this funds should go into, in terms of healthcare and the pandemic that we're having to deal with?
Two major ways: the health sector and employment, because the health sector has to take care of a healthy economy. It's a wealthy economy. So they have to pump the money to ensure that they prevent the spread of the virus. And whatever we need to do to our hospitals and our health institutions needs to be upgraded to actually make sure that if anything happens, we could actually contain and deal with it. Now, again, if the unemployment situation is the way it is now, everybody wants to go out. It's like if you look at Wuhan in China, whereby they have to curtail the entirety of the community. You can't do that here. If you do that here, what are they going to eat? Where are they going to have to make money to feed themselves and their family? So that's not going to work. So they have to put money into training, skill acquisition.
I'm afraid that's the much we can take, Michael Adeleye. Many thanks for your time.
Thank you.